Hello, everyone. This is the 3 Degrees Podcast. My name is Randy Stone, and I'm so glad you're here. So glad you joined me. We are talking about recovery basics. What are the basics of recovery? First, we talked about how it works. You have to be honest, open, willing. You have to become ready to take certain steps. And after we become ready to take certain steps, then we're ready to start. We're ready to start maybe on step 1. So step 1 says, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. We admitted we are powerless over alcohol. This is the old AA steps. That our lives have become unmanageable. Now, it's important to remember, some people may say, steps don't work for me. Steps just don't work. What the steps are principles. They're principles in which to live our life by. And so when we say steps may not work, it's saying principles don't work for me. We know that when we put positive, good principles to work in our lives repeatedly over and over again, we should be able to expect a good result. So we put in, we'll be able to get good out. So this is a principle. And the first step is we admitted we're powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. We have to come to this place of facing reality. No more denying, no more blaming, no more pushing it down the road. I can stop or I can do something anytime. No, we admit, hey, look, I can't do this. Some say that's submission. We just have to submit. And that's true. We submit, we admit, then we quit, then we forget. No, but we come to this place where we face reality, and that is the fastest thing we can do to change, is just face reality. So step 1 is really about, we admit it. Now, who's doing the admitting are the people who have recovered. We admit it. So it's something that they've already done. Now, if we admit initially that we're powerless over alcohol or we're powerless over something, it means we don't have sufficient tools to withstand this battle. And whatever's causing us to use, we've learned some things since these were written. Whatever is causing this, we don't know how to handle it. So the solution is using drugs and alcohol. That's the solution. So we're powerless over that. We turn to drugs and alcohol for solution to the problem, which usually makes the problem worse. And our lives have become unmanageable. It's not normal. It's not right to be in multiple relationships. It's not right to have everything broken in your life. It's not right to be broke, busted, and disgusted. That's not a good life for anyone. It's not a good life for a believer. And so if we look at, I think it's Luke chapter 15 of the Prodigal Son, he gets his inheritance. He goes out, he spends it all. There's a famine. Stuff hits the fan, so to speak. He's slopping with hogs. Nobody cares about him. And then he has this thing where he comes to himself, or he has this epiphany. Hey, look, back in my father's house, even the servants are doing better than I am. And so he has to come to himself. And that's what this is. It's just a simple principle of coming to yourself, realizing, admitting, hey, look, this is not working. And then we have to admit that. That's the first thing. And if we don't, that's the first thing. And once we start that, we can begin to move on in our recovery. But if we don't ever get into that place where we admit, hey, look, it may not be what I wanted to have. This isn't what I intended, but my life screwed up. If we look around and everything is broke, busted, disgusted, well, even if you didn't mean it, doesn't change the fact that that's the way it is. So even if it wasn't our intention, and if it still is that way, well, then that's the way it is. And we have to deal with that. We have to take responsibility. Even if it wasn't your fault, even if you grew up and you didn't know anything else, you still have to take responsibility for what is going on right now. And that's what we admit. We face reality. If I want something else, I've got to do something else. So step one, we admit we're powerless and things are unmanageable. That's step one. How did we get there? We're ready. We're ready to admit that and ready to move on. So this is Recovery Basics on the 3 Degrees Podcast. So glad you were here. So glad you joined me. Until next time, God bless. See you soon.